Adam and Wack, and we back.
Man, listen.
It's a crazy day in hip hop history.
Yes, it crazy.
Crazy day for the OTF boys, man. We just found out about the what was it? The federal indictment that came out about OTF. Apparently, I'm sure a lot more information will come out over the next couple of days. But what we know now is basically that an OTF credit card was used to purchase like hotel rooms, rental cars, etc., involved with the shooting of Lil Pab, which is kind of shocking to myself because we had heard in the streets another version of this that didn't have anything to do with Dirk. I'm going to go out on a limb and assume you probably heard something similar. We heard it was something related to somebody getting ripped off for some
bad
work.
weed deal.
Bingo, yeah.
Somebody reached over
Quando to kill Pab, which made us think, okay, they didn't want to kill Quando. But now this narrative is interesting because it would seem like if OTF was administrating this, they would want both of them gone for obvious reasons.
Listen, I'm gonna say this as a 47-year-old guy. We attempted to mimic the ways of the Mafia, right? And even within the Mafia, one guy bring the whole thing down. But at least guys was like, as kids growing up in the thick of things, doing time in and out, becoming hardened criminals. So if they had to face some time, they can deal with it. And in those days, and even our days, if you was up under that light, you had to remember if you tell something might happen with your family members, loved ones. Today, these so-called rat informant, whatever you want to call them, they get a boost. They get a applaud. People want to talk to them. They become somebody they couldn't even become when they was keeping it real. Now, when I'm looking at this situation, they said the flights and the rental cars were booked with an OTF credit card.
Which kind of reminds you of the Young Thug RICO, in which various shootings were done that were apparently paid for off of the YSL credit cards, right?
I'm going to assume that these young men flew out here, A, to do a show, B, to go in the studio with somebody and, do some work, or C, maybe do a video, photo shoot, or even some marketing, some podcasting, radio. This is why the flights and rental cars were booked from an OTF credit card. I'm going to assume that one or two of these guys were maybe the artists, one or two of these guys were maybe the roadies, and one of these guys was maybe security.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think that that's terribly realistic for people of their level, as far as what I know.
The reason why I'm saying I'm assuming
it's best case scenario.
Because I really don't know the actual people that's been arrested. I know
they're not exactly like the people associated with OTF that are out here making large amounts of money for their talents.
No, they don't, because they don't have to be making large amounts of money. When you're growing an artist, right? And, they say, hey, we in studio or such and such out there, come out here, let's get it in. Or maybe they got a video, a song with somebody, yo, we in LA, let's shoot it in LA. We fuck with the dudes from over here. I'm just kind of like brainstorming because Lil Durk and his company, his organization, an organization I'm speaking of, his record label.
OTF, yeah.
Right? Dirk's not stupid, and he's not a dummy. So I can't see little Dirk or his team orchestrating something like this and giving ties with his company card. So I'm saying the little Dirk I know sent his artists and their little team out here to do some other work. Now, maybe they have some personal stuff going on or what. I don't know. I did read that one of the dudes allegedly said they participated or did the hit for a record deal.
If that is an actual statement, which again, we're in the very early days because this only came out like 2 hours ago, but if that's an actual statement that he made, holy shit, that's not good.
So, and I didn't hear this out of the Fed's mouth. I haven't read this, but I see on the internet somewhere that's what one of the alleged shooters has said, right? But then again, even with that, right? Who's to say that record deal's not tied somewhere else? I just hope, for our culture's sake, that this thing, as Young Thug's thing, gets better for him as it's doing.
Seems like it's going in that direction.
Going in a good direction. We're not in a situation where we got another one at risk.
Right.
You know what I mean? But nevertheless, people have to learn from this. I hate to say it. A lot of the street dudes gonna hate me for it. Hey, bro, you hustle on the block to get off the block. You cannot take the block with you. You cannot name your company or your corporation after your block or your set. You cannot tie things to that because now they're saying you guys are smart enough to have corporations, right? And then you think you're camouflaging and hiding under them, behind them. But now we're saying your corporations are criminal empires. Yes, you got legal contracts, but then you're using the legal money to have illegal things done. You get what I'm saying? So we got to get a little smarter. It's going to get a little darker. A lot of doors going to close. A lot of situations. That's why I commend you all the time, because you gave an open door to a lot of people who would have never had access, right, to becoming something on the podcast platform. This is real. It's just like, Adam, you like, hey, I'm closing my doors and I'm going to Hollywood Tech to get everybody that comes in my building. Now, all the people that's out here that may have some talent that may need to be developed, because believe it or not, you've done exactly what a major label has done. You've developed a lot of talent, right? Even within myself, right? Earlier pods, you couldn't stop me from talking over you. No, this is real.
You have grown quite a bit, yeah.
No, this is real, right? And I'm giving you your flowers. A lot of people, their egos get in the way, and they just won't keep it real. Like when they learn something from people because they feel like it's taken away from them. No, telling somebody you learned something from them and them seeing that you received that, right? It makes you a better situation.
I appreciate that.
I'm just saying, like, we got to start doing things different. And we got to stop trying to keep it real to those dudes that are real dummies.
But, okay, this is the thing, is that much in the same way that when you look at the YSL situation and all of the murders that allegedly took place by YSL members that in some way benefited Young Thug and his position within the streets or the industry or whatever, Lil Durk, if he had been fully communicating with these guys and telling them, hey, this is how you're going to get the car that you're going to go do this in. This is how we're going to keep it separate from OTF or whatever. It doesn't seem like there's necessarily that much specific instruction going on. You know, like it's kind of like understood by a lot of these dudes. Maybe they're having conversations with dudes who are lower in the totem pole, but I highly doubt that Dirk is getting on the phone and saying, listen, you go kill this fool, you're getting a record deal. It's probably a lot of stuff where there's, little comments made here and there. Maybe there's somebody who's lower on the totem pole who's telling them to do it or whatever, but it's not so well organized that people are breaking it down in such explicit detail. And so as a result, you have guys who have like relatively limited life experience. Maybe they have the life experience of going and shooting somebody in the head on the streets. They haven't had to consider, like, how am I going to get a car when I'm out in Southern California, when I'm going to go kill somebody, not to mention Lil Pab got killed at like the most public gas station in Hollywood that you could possibly pick.
Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
And the closer you get to that Beverly Center, I don't know if you recall.
What's his name?
Rest in peace.
Dollar?
Dollar.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Dollar. Shout out, to my homies over there in Mansfield. But Dollar murderer was killed in a valet and at the Beverly Center, right? His killer made it all the way to LAX to his terminal, to his gate, and they tapped him on the shoulder. They literally, between the cameras on top of the lights and the ATM cameras, tracked the car block by block turn by turn all the way to LAX where they can actually walk up on him and say, let's go.
But they did it like instantly?
Instantly.
Well, I would think that would be the kind of
He
thing
didn't
that
even
would
make
take
it on the plane.
weeks, yeah.
No, but when I'm saying you're in Beverly Hills,
Right.
Right? They're not playing that, right?
Yeah.
That you don't, it's just certain things. Even if you get away from the scene, the getaway and all the cameras and all the everything. And on top of that, we have a satellite that if it's that serious, they can access that satellite that will come down in real time, rewind, and watch everything that happens, right? So, and you're totally right. I don't think little Dirk orchestrated that. But we have to be careful when we let our homeboys into our organization who still has that old way of thinking, because regardless of the fact, the vehicles that were used was OTF, the flights was OTF, and now they're saying this was a hit for revenge for King Von.
Right.
So you got motive because of that.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So it's enough to drag him, get him in there, and if any of these dudes start to cooperate, even with the truth or a lie, it's bad. So everything the young man has worked for, and I watched Lil Durk rise and fall. I remember years ago after his fall, his rise, the first one, running him into the strip club in Queens.
People forget that before King Von, it was kind of a lull in his career.
Yeah, I remember him by himself. I guess he had moved to New York. He said, Wack, I'm trying to reinvent myself. And boy, I seen he was by himself, moving around. And I said, damn, Dirk had a buzz. But I'm watching him. And then maybe about a year or two after that, he was back.